Monday. And there was a lot of information in those videos and still images. The build, the gait, the complexion, a lot of information about that person, about this individual. And now this information, we don't yet know how significant it is, but certainly it is of significance that somebody has been brought to the Pima County Sheriff's Department with the FBI for questioning. And while the official with whom CNN spoke cautions that it's just for questioning, as of right now, nobody has been charged. That is how these types of things begin. And we were also told that this individual was brought in because of investigative leads. So it is a day of hope is the word that I've been using all day. I mean, I don't want to overstate the case because obviously we're still talking about an 84-year-old woman with a weak heart who has been away from her medication and her the phone that keeps tabs on whether her pacemaker is working. But at least there has been a significant movement in the case today that seems years away from where we were yesterday. I want to bring in the former deputy director of the FBI, Andy McCabe, who obviously is a CNN consultant and commentator as well. Andy McCabe, the significance of this news, the idea that there is somebody that the FBI and Pima County Sheriff were seeking for questioning, and that person is now in custody and they are interviewing this person.
Yeah, it's an absolutely huge development in a day of many huge developments, but this one could very well be the biggest. This person has not been charged with a crime yet, but investigators must have some level of reasonable suspicion that he is involved with this criminal activity. Maybe they believe that he is the person depicted in the videos or the still images that we've seen. Maybe he has come to their attention on the basis of an investigative lead that we're not even aware of, but that may have been prompted by the videos that we've seen. Either way, you've got probably an FBI agent and a representative of the Pima County Sheriff's Department sitting in the room with this person right now and trying to engage them in a conversation that will ultimately get them to probable cause. It is at that point he can remain in detention, he can be charged and put through the system, and then we're making progress. But let's remember, Jake, this is not the average big case where you're trying to find the person who did it. In those sorts of cases, once you develop a suspect like this, you may spend some time surveilling them, watching them go through their routines before you tip your hand and indicate that you're on to them and their possible guilt. Investigators don't have that luxury of time here. As you said, we have an 84-year-old woman with a weak heart whose life may still be hanging in the balance. They have got to try to get this person to either incriminate themselves or cooperate with the investigation as soon as possible, because the goal here, the first #1 goal, is to get Nancy Guthrie back.
So the individual was discovered or sought and found south of Tucson. For people who are not familiar with the geography of Arizona, Arizona is kind of just a rectangle. Phoenix is like here. Tucson is like here. It is the biggest major city in Arizona before you get to the Mexican border. What is the potential significance of that, Andy?
You know, I think it shows, it certainly opens up the possibility that if this person is involved with a kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, that they likely got her away from her home neighborhood, out of Tucson, away from any place where she would be maybe more immediately recognized. That distance that you just pointed out there and described, that distance from Tucson to the Mexican border is pretty desolate. You know, there are a few suburbs and towns along the way, but mostly, as you know, it's desert, it's scrub, it's, you know, area that if you had a house or rented some sort of structure, you know, you could come and go in that area pretty freely without having a lot of people see what you're doing, what you're up to, who you have with you, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, there's the border, which provides an even greater degree of anonymity and essentially escape from U.S. law enforcement activity. So it opens up a world of possibilities if the person who has Nancy Guthrie has taken her down in that direction.
You said earlier that it is possible that this individual brought it. First of all, we should just say it's possible that this is a lead that will prove clueless. We hope not, we think not, but it is obviously possible. But assuming it is not one, assuming that this is a lead that is solid and legitimate and is going to ultimately bring us to some sort of hopefully happy conclusion of this whole horrible ordeal. You said it's possible that this is from a lead that they were, from a string they were pulling before that didn't have to do with the video. But it does seem like a lot happened today, right? I mean, it seemed like yesterday there was kind of an impasse. Savannah goes on social media and basically asks the public for help. We need help, you know, which seemed to me to be a message of, we don't have any serious leads, and that's in fact what the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff have been saying. We don't have any serious leads right now. We don't have any primary suspects. We need the public's help. And then the next day, lo and behold, a fantastic trove of information about the abductor. You know, this isn't just like some random video at a Circle K. This is at the house of Nancy Guthrie. And then this news. In your experience, obviously we don't know the answer to this question, but in your experience, isn't it probable that there is a relation between the two?
I think it's overwhelmingly likely that this person is in custody because of the events that you just ticked off. The investigative progress that we have seen take place literally before our eyes, mostly today. I take the FBI at their word when they said yesterday they did not have a suspect or a person of interest. Certainly having someone who you were looking for and then taking them into custody makes that, no matter what you want to call it, that person is at least a person of interest and more likely a suspect in your case if they're back in the office getting interviewed right now. So yeah, I think it's more likely than not that that person is in sitting talking to FBI agents right now because of leads that were developed today, whether it was directly from the video or whether the video and inspired someone with other information to call in. That's hard to say, but this has been a whirlwind of progress after 9 very slow days for the investigators.
And Andy, just before I let you go, Kash Patel, the FBI director, told a reporter on a talk show host on another channel that that there were persons of interest. In this interview, he often referred to persons of interest. Does that necessarily mean a conspiracy, or is he possibly talking about just lots of different leads that they're checking out, or either?
Could really go either way, Jake. I hesitate to put too much significance on one offhand comment, one plural, right, and one offhand comment. So that's a tough one to call. It could be that the lead that brought them to this person, they believe other people are also associated with that lead. Could be something else entirely, but at this point, it's just too early to tell.
All right, Andy, thanks so much. Abby?
All right,